before, I figured I would just kind of reiterate what we've seen so far prior to today, right? So I'll go back on the weekly and then we'll quickly reiterate what we are seeing so you guys are following. All right, so when you look at this, monthly just started, right? You can definitely go on monthly, but for the purposes of weekly, right? What you're seeing here is basically, I'm just gonna delete everything here. Basically, what you're seeing is just a 4-week range, meaning we are in balance, market's trading balance, right? And there's ways to trade balance versus trend. When you're trending, can you trend within the balance? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You can trend within a balance. Here's a lower, higher high. Here's a lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low. That's definitely a definition of, a bearish trend on 65 minutes, right? So you had higher highs and higher lows and higher highs, and that stopped once you're able to crack this here, which was 63 level, which we kind of paid attention to this week. Why this level is important is because this is where the weekly framing down happened. This is the week low. And now you see that we are struggling to find net new buyers in this box here, right? So I explained today during the live, and whoever wasn't able to join, this 63 is fairly important, right? It was previous week value area low when we were trading last week. And now it's the level that basically caused the framing down to occur on the weekly. So you want to be aware of it, right? If you're able to reclaim this level and hold it, not for instance like what we were seeing today, but definitely hold it, that's bullish, right? And you see the value areas, right, overlapping with the outside week, and then you have an inside week, but you've never really cracked what? When you think about the lows on the day here, we really haven't cracked the lows here. I think it's somewhere around here, 81.75. This week low, where we had the FMOC, I believe, day on Wednesday, never really cracked down. So now, if you're able to, let's say, lose 52.34, what would you expect? I would expect us to go back to this zone right here. Does that make sense? Because you extended this value area, it would be this double XPOC that you're kind of defending here. Right? There's a lot of volume that are interested, and you see them bouncing here. They're holding this. So unless you lose this 35, 34 level, if you do lose this, high chance you're going to be going somewhere, between this level right here and this level. 89 to 81 would be the level I'm watching, right? So that's something you guys should understand, the concept of value shift, right? The value is shifting down just like it was shifting up here. You had an outside week, you have an outside week to a down. And now what matters is, are we able to break this week now, the low, the value area low, and then ultimately the range low at 92. But this is obviously has been proven to be a big spot. So if they really want to be bearish, what is your level if you want to be extreme bearish on this?
$5.35.
Oh, bearish in terms of a trend here, you catch a little bit down. But for you to turn your bias, which would be most likely a monthly shift, because 4 weeks equal a month. If you're able to crack this range low at 57, then you have a problem, right? If you're a bull, you have a little bit of a problem because this becomes a distribution, right? They accumulated for a long time, and then this becomes a distribution, and that's where a lot of people tend to misdiagnose the market, what it's telling them. Right now, we are in balance. We're in a bullish balance just because we've been running. There's no reason to be extremely bearish yet. You can be bearish within the circle, right? Day to day or, 2-3 days. But ultimately, you got to crack, I would say, this level here, 51, 57, and then things really, really open up, even hitting some of these VPOCs below. And we can find the level, but my focus is just this balance. When you're trading balances, how do you trade balances?
Long the bottom, short the top.
Yeah, I mean, as simple as that. And your POC would be the middle, it would be your target in between. So, and the closer or further away you are from, let's see. Let's see if this changes here. So the further you are, let's say you're taking a trade long right here at 52.63. What's your risk to reward? I mean, the reward, if you're taking this, is right here, is it not? Does everybody follow? So the closer you are
Yes.
trading this to extremes, the more probability is in your favor that you're going to have a successful trade. Some of you guys are taking trades, you know, out of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, and expecting a lot of movement, right? I did mention yesterday, right? We have FMOC and CPI this week, so until that's released, this is the type of shit that you can get right here on FMOC day, right? But as of right now, they're just, I mean, barcoding. look at the day they gave you today. There's not much to it, right? So now you can expect a visit all the way here to this weekly POC, right? And then from there, if they crack that, then ultimately you probably go to the bottom of this 34, right? So 49 to 34 is a potential setup, but these are scalps for me. You know, if they're to go above here, right? If they're to go above here, and let's say they fail, this is a good short, and I can swing some, whether it's SPX or SPY, you can swing some of this stuff here. You're talking about 90 to 35, that's 65 points. And don't tell me we can't do it. We've done it in a day, right? So this would be a good target one, like right here. And then you have the second target, which would be around here. But that's on a bigger time frame and you're using weekly. When you're, you know, consolidating between levels, I mean, if they lose this level right here, right, 50, there's a high chance they're going to go at least 40 here. And this 40 would be your CPOC. So if you guys remember your standard deviations, you know, we are in a 4-week balance. So this becomes your CPOC here. And that means just a cumulative POC or a mean. And then your SIG1 would be sitting right here at the top. And here's your SIG1 in the bottom. So that means they are going to play inside, and this is 68% of the volume for 4 weeks. Anything outside is considered advantageous, and you're looking for failures. And that's why we have something like, you know, 95 here. So you can find out where are the real extremes. And in this case, right, this would be 2 sig. And where's this one? Right here. So it'll be something like this, right? And now you're expecting, you know, if they come here, you're expecting buyers. Because once you go below value, right? Once you go below the first sig, who do you expect to see? What type of buyers, sellers do you expect to see?
Lots of buyers.
Responsive.
Yeah, we want to see responsive activity. If we do get initiation here, that's where we get that crack below 81. You hit 57, and then ultimately you would find the levels below. But here you're expecting buyers, and if they fail here, well, let's say we crack this 57 and you see volume and check, value area shifted, right? Those would all be, you know, validations of that breakout. As of right now, I mean, there's no reason to be extremely bearish just yet. Can Wednesday change that on the blink of an eye? Yes. Right. So that's why I don't trade Wednesdays at all. I typically don't even look at it. Okay. Does that make sense for everyone? Does everybody understand how to find the first SIGs? For anyone that doesn't?
I don't.
Who said that? I'm not trying to pick on you. I just want to know if you're new or
Dave.
not.
Dave, yeah,
Okay.
I'm new.
Okay. So if you look here, have you used volume profile before?
Yes.
Okay. So in bracketed markets, that means you can use standard deviations to find. All I did is I basically grabbed an FVP tool, if you're familiar, fixed volume profile, and I'm grabbing the 4 weeks, right? You could change the PVP to be 4 weeks here, and you could change it that way as well. But all I'm doing is I'm just grabbing 4 weeks. As you see, I started here and looking here. I'm just gonna hide PVP so you can kind of follow along, and I'll go step by step. So if you click on FVP here, right? If you click here, you're gonna have some settings. You see how value area is 95?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the bell curve?
A little bit from your training.
Okay, that's enough, right? And I'll bring it up so you guys can just, and I'm actually working on transferring this to PDF, so that's why I haven't posted a new version, just because we had that incident with people stealing my shit and selling it, charging people $500 for a class. Okay, so let me go here. So if you take a look at this, right, we know the first standard deviation is 68.2, right? 34, 34, plus plus at 68.2, and that's our value area. That's the extremes. That's where 68% of the volume occurs. Then you have the second standard deviation, 68.2 plus 13 plus 13.6. You get 95 and something, some change, right? And you just can't do decimals in TradingView. And then the final standard deviation is the third one. That's extreme, right? And those are rare, and those are called advantageous prices for, in this case, sellers or buyers on the bottom. So when you're trading outside of value, you're expecting, if you're below the value, you're expecting buyers to hop in these standard deviations outside to bring it back to the mean. And when you're above, you're expecting sellers, right, to sell, and eventually buyers step in towards the fair price POC and they buy back up. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And in that PowerPoint that's available to you guys right now, you guys do have the actual, this video is right here for standard deviations. You guys are welcome to go through it, and if you click on it, it'll explain this step by step in more detail, along with the traditional bell curve. But that's pretty much the summary, not to kill the time on everyone. But usually you're looking for 2+ days of market balance where you can draw the SIGs. That's when it's effective. And even like today, for instance, if you take, we are in balance on a daily just because we haven't moved much, like basically barcoded there the whole day. So if you have an FVP tool, you would change this manually to 68. All I did is I saved it as a template. So I can pick 68, 95, 99. You would change this to 95 for second, and third 99, and then you're able to kind of quickly switch here. Here's 68, here's 95, and here's 99. You're able to see how the value area, the lines are shifting here. Does that make sense now?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and typically you're, at the extreme levels, you're watching for buyers. Because where do other time frame buyers or sellers come in?
At the extremes.
At the extremes, when the price is below or above the value, right? Depending on what's going on. When the price goes above you, it's advantageous for me to sell something to you if it's above value, right? And I've given you plenty of guys examples, right? When I was looking to buy my wife GMC Yukon, went to the dealership and the guy's like $120,000. I just said, I'll give you 68,000 cash if you want it. If not, call me when you're ready. He called. He offered 82 from 118. What do you guys think I said?
New.
But call me when 68, man. I gave you a number. Call me 68. Or I offered to him, drop the price of the car to 65 and charge me 30% interest rate on that loan. And then the next day I can just pay off that loan. But he didn't want that. So he knew the trick. But yeah, at that point, I become advantageous buyer when the price drops of that car to a certain level here. For instance, let's say Yukon price goes here, I'll snatch it, and then eventually the price is going to do this, right? That's what we're trying to do here as well. So today, right, what you're seeing here is you're seeing us in balance, right? We're in a four-week balance, and a lot of people are bullish, bearish. You have no reason to be bearish just yet. Extreme bearish, where you're shorting everything you're seeing. And especially today, if you guys looked at the daily price action, they didn't really give you much, except a few trades. And look at look at your day today. Do you guys ever look back and you're like, man, how the hell did I trade this today? I do, right? Because today was pretty bad. And if you look at it, they went to the extreme, right? They went to the extreme. They didn't like it. Then they came back to the previous day POC, and look how many times did they tap this level? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times they came to this level and they said, okay, we're going to go higher. And you see the value area is contracting. So you're going to expect to see a move here tonight. Considering that value area did what? It shifted higher. The value area low matches the prior day POC. POC shifted. Value area high is still lower just because it's what? An inside day, right? Does everybody understand inside day? Is there anyone that doesn't? okay if you don't. If you're new, I mean, you're not going to know this stuff. It's new language.
Inside the value area, right?
Either that or
Maybe
range.
short.
Yep. So if your prior day has a range of something like this, right? And then the next day, look, today is trading inside here. That means the value area is going to be potentially inside the other day value area, just because this value area is going to be wider. And here it's going to be contracted. When you have a wide balance, what does it mean?
Takes more effort to go up
Okay.
and down.
What does it tell you about participants? Who's in it? Who's here?
More people, long,
What type of people?
short and long, or short and long term time frame.
Short and long-term time frame. So typically when you have narrow IBs or value areas, that means the auction is really poor. And that means the short term controls 90% of the volume. So if you look today, you think the big boys were here at all?
No.
It doesn't look like it. They're not participating today. And let's see if they, I'm not sure if they're building a position. If they were, they would have been visible. But as of right now, they're not showing much. On the prior day, lower value or low, lower POC. And now, retail did a little bit of work and they pushed it back up. And if you look at TPO, it's not giving you much either. So right now, the break of the 72, I would say break of 40 is pretty big just because this is a CPOC for 4 weeks. Most likely you're targeting 24 and then ultimately here on the bottom of 51.94. Let me just make sure I'm on the right. Yep, 51.94. Does everybody follow at least what was my top process on yesterday? I'm sorry, not tomorrow. Can't tell future. We're just in balance and that's it. And then if you go on a weekly time frame, and it's pretty much what we've covered so far. Let's just turn it on. We'll hide SVP. So if you guys look at the weekly, I mean, it's the same concept, a little bit of overlap here, and we are cautious of this week. If you guys recall, we're fairly cautious to make sure that, that we break the bottom of this week or continuation down, not to get, trapped on this one. And a lot of people, I would say, probably got trapped on here because this level here became crucial, right? This right here. And you can see here that they're holding that. So once they lose this, I would say 34. Once they lose that level, things will change. But as of right now, we are shifting lower, value area low shifted, POC shifted, value area high shifted slightly, but we are inside the prior week. So what does that tell you so far in terms of price and value?
They're happy trading in this range.
They're happy here, meaning the price is being accepted in this range right here. Bull market, purple or something. They're happy trading. And until you break this, and they tried here once, and then we had a little bit of step in, right, from the week priors, right? They stepped in and drove the price back inside here. So now we're just trading in this LVN that we left from FMOC, which is here. The yellow area, you see this LVN? We're just kind of knocking it out, filling it with volume because there was no volume here. Now we're adding tons of volume here. And if you take a look at this now, look at the shelf that's built there. Pretty massive, right? So if you look now, if they're able to crack this, do you see the little LVN? Most likely they're going to tap PDH if they're able to, let's say, if they're able to crack this overnight 65-ish, preferably 67 or 68, this level here. If they're able to crack that, most likely they hit 86 here. And then ultimately, I would say they're going to go to this range here, 95 to 97. I would watch, I would watch something like here. Because these are your overlapping value areas. I know I have a lot of boxes, but they don't mean much besides these two here. And then once, if you're able to crack this, I would say you're most likely gunning for all-time highs.
Shorty, today you ended up getting a SPX call. Just looking at this, what makes you think it's going up tomorrow?
You tell me.
Or were you thinking the end of the day? I mean, I could see it go down
Mhm.
another few points and bounce off the bottom.
Yeah.
I could see it go sideways and go nowhere because we got CPI again and do another tight like we have today.
What if they flipped the script by some means? Because everybody's expecting Wednesday. And if there's iron condor traders for tomorrow and they destroy them.
So just swing it wildly, you're thinking?
Not wildly. Look at this day here. You took the sell-off here that you had
Yeah,
massive
that was
sell-off.
crazy. Yeah.
You have
Mhm.
the massive sell-off, and now let's take a look at the sell-off. You're rejecting the 61.8 pretty much here. You're trading above the 50%. Anytime you came back to 50%, what happened?
You bounced pretty
You
much.
bounced. Somebody's finding value at the 50% discount.
Okay.
And look at your value area for whatever it's worth, whether it's short term or not. They're finding value higher than before. Let's say they crack this 50. Can I take a stop loss or whatever that contract is? $90, $100? Sure. But what if overnight some crazy shit comes out like news and they're able to get more people excited first Tuesday, and then they drive it up, they crack this previous 72. That would put me in the money by $25. I would sell them for $2,000. So I'm risking $200 to make $2,000.
So overnight, if we hit the value low, you think that'd be a good long there? It's
Yes.
around 49-ish, 50-ish, whatever. Something like that.
Very, very good long.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just to look at the 2 days balance now. You don't even have to go a lot.
Mhm.
Right now, if you go here, I think they could go even as low as 42.
47. Oh, okay.
At 42, if they offer this, I would swing from here.
And it's bouncing 47 all the time.
Yeah, 47 is important. Do you
Really
guys remember
respecting.
47 and 57? You guys remember those levels at all?
And March value high I've got is 47.
Mhm.
Yeah, 47, 57 has been the go-to
57, 47
move
is the
range.
10 points. If you guys remember, that
Yeah.
was huge for, I mean, I think we wrote about it.
Even today, it did it a number of times today. So
Yeah, so it's a fairly big level, right? And right now, I mean, for me, if we can clear 57, because that was our previous level of breakout, that'd be a really bullish sign, as long as we can close above it. But that was I'm risking, I think it was 100 and something, 180.
yeah, I know you weren't risking a lot. I was just wondering, what gave you the thoughts. The
that was my
fact we're
thought.
holding the 50 is what you're thinking. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
You're holding the 50 and your value shifted. And I mean, think about it. Their job is to sell it to you higher. And obviously, if the other time frame buyers and sellers are not here, if I'm a seller, wouldn't I want to sell it higher?
Yeah.
So
I guess the way I see it, we keep having lower lows. That's mentally what I keep seeing is lower lows, and there's still some room for downside.
Let me show you what.
But yeah,
Here's other mafia on Twitter. What they see, all they see.
bear flag, bull flag.
Yep. They're like, man, that's a bull flag. Yeah, I hope it's a bull flag for them, right? My $200 becomes $1,000 or more.
I'd love for them to pop it to the red zone so I can short it.
Exactly. I would close my SPX there. So that was the thought process on this. If they crack 55, 75 here, unfortunately, you don't have a lot of room because the VA is getting really, really tight here. But this area here is pretty good potentially for overnight. And if you see weakness, I don't know what time you guys go to sleep. But if they crack this, I would expect them to hit 42. I don't expect that much range overnight. Personally, not today. I think tomorrow something might happen. That was the idea. That was the thought process.
Okay.
So tomorrow we really need to crack the 72. like right here. We need to go over this. And then ultimately, there's a bunch of single print. I didn't want to mark them because the whole chart becomes single prints
Mhm.
from Thursday, right? But there's a lot of poor structures. We fixed a little bit, right? Obviously, like 60% of it. But there's still some left in this area. I think there's some to 86, 85. And 86 is a big level, so I'll keep, yeah. You guys go here. Yeah, 86, right? It was right here. So CPOC for 3 weeks, and then above that you have this red zone, and that's kind of what I'm playing. And I have my single prints here. Unfortunately, everything is a single print on this candle.
Yep.
So, and you see this little node here. They reclaimed this node, so now the next one would be to clean up 86. As long as they hold this, they're holding 47, right?
Yep.
So that's the idea. I figured it would be a low risk, high reward. If I fail, that's okay. Yeah. Any questions? Hopefully you guys understand. And I'm putting a slide together how to trade balances a little bit more detailed with entries and exits. So you guys can, because we're going to spend a lot of time, I think, in balance this year. A lot more than you guys are ready for.
Shorty, what's the iron condor?
That's basically when people are betting that we are not going to break certain levels, that we're going to stay in the tight bracket. When they define the bracket top, the bracket bottom, and then they sell the calls, and then they sell the puts, and basically you're just trading in the zone, and both expire worthless, and you collect premium on both.
So you swung the SPX because we hit the bottom of that range.
No, not necessarily. Like I said, I swung it based of us reclaiming 50%, and short time players, retail hopping in and controlling volume today. This was 100%, 95% controlled by short term. And the only thing I didn't like about the swing is that when we popped above, they were aggressive to bring it back in. Also, when we went below it, they were aggressive to bring it back in again. So that's why I swung it, right? 50% shift in value. Wish it was wider, but it's not. But a perfect distribution. So let's see.
Yeah, today NYS
Thank you.
had worst volume of the year.
Yeah, today was horrible. And I'm telling you, it was all retail traders today. I would say 99% retail today. And it's very easy to trade when the retail is on. I think I was 12 for 15. I had 3 stop losses, but they were more of a scalping. But I made quite a bit of money just because I was able to kind of read what they're doing and what, how they're playing it. And I was just playing with them. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. Wednesday, I will most likely not trade. And tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I won't be around. Because the best club in the world is playing against Man City. So I will be watching that game. Nesty, you can watch it as well.
Yeah, I might have to bet against them.
Don't even join the Discord again if you do that.
Thank you, Shorty.
I see you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, bro. Take
Thanks,
care.
Shorty.
Thank you.